The hitman with the heart is a commonly used trope that serves as a basis for many action films, but it's gotten to a point where this genre has become stale. 2011's The Man from Nowhere, a South Korean film written and directed by Jeong-Beom, is a remarkably crafted thrill ride that approaches itself with a deep sincerity. So what makes it so good? Broadly speaking, it has four main strengths, and those are its interesting characters, a well-paced, engaging story, great direction and editing, particularly in its action sequences, and it looks damn gorgeous. If you hold other action films, especially ones of a similar premise to the same criteria, most can barely whiff out an interesting protagonist and a few cool set pieces, whereas this film delivers in spades. Oh, and fair warning, spoilers are ahead. Let's start with a wide assortment of characters. We have the titular Man from Nowhere, a quiet and stern pawnbroker who has a soft spot for a young girl that lives in the same apartment building. The young girl who likes music and nail art, but steals because of a neglectful mother. The neglectful mother that works as a dancer and is a heroin junkie. Her junkie accomplice. The charismatic and diabolical drug supplier organ harvest duo they rip off. The duo's deadly hitman bodyguard. Their ambitious boss. An old organ harvesting caretaker. The determined lead detective and his hilarious partner that are after them all. This creates an overarching web of characters with distinctive and dynamic interpersonal relationships. This nicely dovetails into the story, where Lee's expertly created cast of characters are introduced at a smooth and steady pace so as not to be bored or overwhelmed. Some of these characters have very little screen time, but they are all vital parts of the whole. To abbreviate the main setup, the organ harvester duo I talked about earlier kidnap their outcast girl and force her only friend, the Man from Nowhere, to do a job for them to get her back. Immediately your mind will go to countless revenge kidnapping films in which the main character, usually male and a badass, sets out on a blood-fueled rampage to save someone they care about, usually a young girl. And this film is a textbook definition of the thriller subgenre. What puts this film in a higher echelon is in its earnest depiction of a vulnerable lead and the loving relationship he has with his child. The chemistry between Kim Sae-ron and Won Bin is palpable, and this grounds each of their respective character motivations. The action scenes the story builds up to are exciting and fresh, given impact by the stakes that ride on them. Just like Keanu Reeves taking a deep dive into becoming a real-life badass for the incredible John Wick, Won Bin did the majority if not all of his own stunts. From the hand-to-hand fights to falling onto a net, he did it. It's because of this that the fight scenes feel so real. The rapid-fire editing by Kim Sang-beom gives these scenes a kinetic rhythm. He frequently cuts back to primarily locked-off wides to establish or reinforce the space and the actors' respective positions. Lee deftly uses handheld close-ups to emphasize blows, their effects, or character expressions. He even goes as far to add a few head cam shots in there that don't come off as schlocky, but to add a sense of urgency when in close quarters combat. Ugly blurs common in handheld fight scenes are mostly avoided by DP Lee Tae-Yun Lee shooting at a higher frame rate. There's a lot to be said for actors undertaking rigorous combat training for action films. I know sometimes scheduling doesn't work out, or there may be safety, budgetary, or insurance reasons, but you can't deny how much stronger the final product is with an actor that is willing to go above and beyond for the role, as well as the amazing crew that supported him to ensure he was capable. Yeah, at least no one died. The last facet, while not as important as the others, is the gorgeous cinematography, with its rich palette of noir blues and deep shadows, balanced with warmth and light. Apart from John Wick, what's the last action film you saw with a unique look? The Man from Nowhere is a film that feels both fresh and familiar, and definitely deserves praise as a modern action classic.